Hey guys, how are you? It's time for a Wednesday morning's Daily Juice podcast. My name is Matt Peralt. How are you? On BettingPros.com. We are here thanks to BetMGM.com like we are each and every morning. And, well, we got a lot to get to here on a Wednesday. At the top, I just want to say thank you to literally, 100 of you who wrote me messages. I got a video from Australia, which was incredible. I got an email from Mexico. I got DMs on every social media platform that I actually am on. And sharing stories of your animals, your fur babies, whatever you want to call them, right? Your companions, your dogs, your cats. And it was awesome. It helped me. As I told you last night, we got an incredible DM from a father who tells me he and his daughters listened to the Daily Juice together on their way to school. I mean, just heartwarming, really cool things. And it was special. It was awesome. And then Villanova winning that bet was just really nice. And I'm weird like that. I look for signs and stupid stuff like that. But, to have a Wildcat victory, an easy walk in the park, and Villanova winning that for Felix, that was awesome. And I appreciate a lot of you guys doubled down. A couple of you were saying one guy's I put 2 units on it because it was a lock. There was no debating that Felix was going to get us home. We were going to cash on the Wildcats against St. John's, and they won the game by 25 points or whatever, easily covering the 12 points. So that was really special, and so it made it nice. It was a hard day yesterday. It sucked. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I took my daughter to gymnastics, and on the way home, I started crying. So. I'm not through it, if you will. I'm still going to have some moments. I'm going to have some issues with it, and it just stinks to say goodbye to somebody like that. And I'm in this room here where I tape, and he would always come and scratch on the door whenever I was taping in here. If I closed the door, he'd get angry. So there's just all different memories and things. I keep on waiting for him to walk up the stairs, and I keep on waiting to hear him cry or see him walking around the corner. So all those things are still going to be hard and raw and painful, but Villanova got through last night, which was really, really special. We only had 2 plays on the podcast. I had a couple of personal plays from my radio show that were nice. I didn't make them official plays because I was trailing people. And normally, if I love the pick myself, if I'm already going to be on it anyway, and then someone says bet it, then fine, I'll claim it for my own. But when it's just 2 games, I never had any real business betting. I don't necessarily grab it for my own, but I went 2-1 on my personal plays, 1-1 on the podcast. So a little down touch on the podcast, but overall an update for me yesterday, which I liked, so that was nice to have. A little positive, and we'll see where we're going to go. So I like it there. So here is where we are today for this podcast. I have got one play in 3 sports: NBA, NHL, and college basketball. I've got one bet that I can't make yet that I will add on the Discord channel, so we'll have 4 plays officially going for today. So you're going to want to be on the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. I will give you the Discord play once it comes out. It's a first-half wager that I cannot make yet, but I'll make it coming up. And I'm still kind of tinkering around a little bit. I need to see the numbers for it, but I'll have a bet on it coming up here for a college basketball game that I can't bet just about yet, but I will talk about it here on the podcast, and I'll tell you what I'm looking at, and then we'll try to get into it. So I brought the cookie, okay? I got my cookies. Have you gotten your cookies yet? If you're on the YouTube channel watching our video, you can see the cookies. Here are the cookies. So I am really hoping that you guys will find a way to make sure that your order is processed. If you emailed and you want to be a part of this, let's follow through here. At last check, we were around 50 orders still outstanding, okay? Your email, look in your spam, look everywhere. You want these cookies, okay? 1, we want to donate the money. We're nearly at $3,000 plus the $2,500 from BettingPros owners. We're at $5,500 when you include the $2,500 I donated from the DraftKings contest. We're at $8,000 basically. Okay, that's incredible. From the Daily Juice audience, all of us together, $8,000. So really cool. But we want to make sure we can give that full donation. So you guys have got to be able to buy your cookies from the folks at Sweet C's Bakery, okay? So I've got my cookies. They showed up today. My daughter was chowing down. You can go to my Instagram or even my Twitter, @SportsTalkMatt, and check out the pictures of my kid and holding the cookies. She's devouring them. She thinks they're phenomenal. The 1 million listens Daily Juice cookie is incredible. And so definitely get a hold of these cookies. You want them, but you got to get your order processed. So it's really important that you guys do that. Look in your email. You have an individual link that comes back from Celia and TJ at Sweet C's Bakery. You go ahead and click on the link. You fill out the little form with your credit card, and bam, you're all set, and away we go. So that's really important. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone pay up who ordered, because that's the follow-through, okay? It's great to be involved. It's great to say yes. It's great to send the email, but let's make sure we follow through here and get this taken care of. So Daily Juice cookies, look out for the email, and let's make sure we process all of them, and they're sending out all of them daily. They're giving me updates on the number of cookies which are being sent out from Sweet C's Bakery in Illinois to all over the country. Hawaii. Folks in Hawaii are wanting it, which is super cool and really exciting. So if you're on the YouTube channel, once again, here's the cookie, the 1 million listen to the Daily Juice cookie. There's 3 others that come in the pack: football, baseball, and a basketball. Very cool, very tasty. I've eaten them all. They're very good. So really thank you. Thanks to the folks at Sweet C's Bakery for sending them along. Okay. One more little bit of work before we get into the picks here. There's new Daily Juice gear, guys. This is cool. So fantasypros.com/shop. Go under new releases, new gear. You can get 2 hats. One's a trucker hat, and the other is a Flex Fit hat for the Daily Juice. I will be buying those tomorrow. There are 2 t-shirts, which are really cool. One that says, I bet the don't bet a parlay, which is funny. And the other is don't leave a half unit hanging, or something along those lines, which are terms that I've said in this podcast over and over again. So really cool Daily Juice swag that's unique and funny, and inside joke where you're wearing it and someone who listens to the Daily Juice might point at that and go, wait, I know that saying. So very, very cool that we've got that available. fantasypros.com/shop. Go under new release or new gear, and you will see all of it, which is really, really cool. The hats are awesome. Hats look really, really sharp. The t-shirts are funny and cool and just awesome. So if you haven't gotten a t-shirt, haven't gotten a hat, looking for something unique and cool, who doesn't like sweet, unique, very fun t-shirts? So really good stuff. You guys have been crushing it on the store with buying Daily Juice gear and sending me pictures all over the country, all over the world now. We're seeing people come in and trying to buy gear, trying to get a hold of gear and whatnot. So it's just very, very cool. So new gear available, fantasypros.com/shop for the Daily Juice. Okay, one more bit of business for the picks. We know about BetMGM, right? The risk-free $600 wager is available still right now with that promo code JUICE100 when you guys are using BetMGM in a state that has BetMGM. Those states are New Jersey, Colorado, Indiana, Tennessee, Iowa, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia to get into it. You must be 21 years or older to participate. JUICE100 is the promo code. You must be physically located in one of the states I just listed. If you've got a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado, Nevada, 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey and West Virginia, or 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. All right, let's get to the picks. So a good 3-1 into a 1-1, so not a bad start. We've had a pretty good week here, 4-2, right, on Sunday. So we're having a good week, and let's keep it rolling here with another good week. So here's where we are for today. The picks are pretty predictable. Let's start with Alabama and Arkansas. So Bama's at Arkansas. Bama was a 2.5-point favorite at home against Arkansas, and they won the game 90-59. Blew their doors off. Alabama, since that victory, have not played well. It's pretty consistent. You look at it, they beat LSU in the next game. I guess not since then. They beat LSU, won by 30. And then since then, they only covered 3 times over the next 8 games. They didn't cover against Mississippi State. They didn't cover against Oklahoma. They didn't cover against Missouri. They lost outright to Oklahoma and Missouri. Didn't cover against South Carolina. They blew out Georgia at home, won by 33, and then didn't cover at home against Vanderbilt in their last game, minus 14. They won by 4. On the flip side, Arkansas is rolling. They've won 4 games hold on. They won 4 games in a row, covering all 4 games, covering by 8.5, 3, 7.5, and 6.5. They lost by 4 to Oklahoma State on the road, but the 2 previous 4 games before that, they won by 21 and 15 over Vanderbilt and Ole Miss, covering by 12 and 11 points. Arkansas is the hotter team. Arkansas is at home, so Arkansas is -1. I'm taking Bama. Just talked to some people tonight. I've kind of done my homework and research, and there's just matchup problems for Arkansas when it comes to Alabama. And this Crimson Tide team recognizes what's going on, and they need to get road victories, okay? They beat South Carolina, not good enough. They lost to Oklahoma, and they lost to Missouri. If they want to be a 2 seed here in the tournament, they need this game. If they want to be even close to a 1 seed, which is not out of the question if they go on a run here and win the SEC championship and blow out everyone along the way, there's an outside chance that 4th number 1 would go to Alabama and not Ohio State, right? It'd be Michigan as the 3rd number 1, and then Bama could be the 2nd number 1. They need this game. It's essentially a pick. I'll take the 1 point just in case. +1 at -110 for a half a unit. We're taking Alabama on the road at Arkansas. I think this is going to be a white knuckler. This could be really tough. Bama might get down. They may need to come back. It's just essentially win the game, right? It's going to be tight. Arkansas is playing really, really well. They just beat Florida, a really good Florida team, by 11 as 4.5-point favorites at home. Okay, so Bama's walking into a lion's den right now with the way Arkansas is playing. I think Bama's the more talented team. I'm going to take the more talented team just to win the game here in late February and to kind of stop this slide where Bama has they haven't covered in 3 out of the last 4 games. So +1, just win the game, get a win, and cover. Alabama, half a unit. Second play, Utah against the Lakers. Man alive, is this a hard game to break down. So the Lakers are really bad right now without Anthony Davis. The Utah Jazz are psychotically good right now. Best team in the NBA. I don't know what to make of this other than we've been riding the Jazz. It's 8.5 at most books. In Vegas, it's 8. And here's why it's 8. Because there's tons of Laker money here in Vegas. So they always shade it to the Lakers. Always. The rest of the country is at 8.5. So I'm getting a better number here than most people across the country. Lakers are 14-18 against the spread. Utah is 23-7-1. And they are 9-1 over their last 10. They're 13-2-1 at home against the spread. Lakers are without Anthony Davis, without Dennis Schroeder. I think they're walking into a buzzsaw here, and you know that Utah's bringing it. You know they've got this game circled. You know that they want the 1 seed. They want to make the Clippers and the Lakers play each other in the playoffs. Got a 3.5 game lead on that to make that happen, and they need games like this. Head-to-head games at home. Got to take care of business. You know, Lakers on the road are 9-7 against the spread. I get it. It's LeBron James. But they haven't covered in 3 and 4 games. They've lost 3 of 4, or lost 3 in a row, rather. And they've lost 4 of 5. So three losses in a row, lost 4 of 5. This is the ultimate contrarian bounce-back play on the Lakers. Okay? And there's going to be tons of professional money on the Lakers. And I totally understand that, you know, we may get blown up here with Alabama and Utah. It may just be a mess for us here. We may go 0-2 in these bets. But I'm going to ride the teams we've been riding until we get thrown off. And again, the Clippers, 1 loss doesn't throw me off, okay? 1, 2, or 3 losses, okay. But, I mean, dating back to the game against Boston, we've been all over Utah, against Milwaukee, against Miami, against Philadelphia, against the Clippers in the first game, and the Clippers in the second game, and then against Charlotte. They had that crazy 20-2 run in the fourth quarter. Now, Charlotte's not the Lakers. Lakers aren't Charlotte, but I've gone back and forth. It felt heavy. It still feels heavy. I think we're still paying a Utah tax. But because I got the 8 versus the 8.5, the 8 here in Vegas versus the 8.5 across the country, I took 8. I hope you guys get 8. I think you might, because I do think the number's coming down. I do think pro money will come in on the Lakers. Maybe the public goes all over Utah, but I think you're going to get a better number. I got 8, half a unit, -110. One hockey play. We lost our lone hockey play yesterday, taking the Devils on the money line. And I had hit 5 straight. I counted it up. I had hit 5 straight bets in the NHL before that loss last night. So that was kind of a bummer. I don't know what happened to the Devils. They played really well. And, I don't know. It was odd to see. They were down. It was 0-0 in the first period. They outplayed the Sabres in the first period, and then they gave up a goal in the second period, and then really at the start of the third, they gave up 2 quick goals. It was 3-0, and the game was over. So that was frustrating, and as I said, I was going to start fading the Sabres. I still think I'm going to fade the Sabres, but for tonight, I'm looking at Philadelphia against the New York Rangers. The Rangers have got all sorts of drama with players having to go back to Russia due to allegations and injuries. The Rangers are a bit of a mess here. And the Flyers are playing pretty well. I've liked what I've seen out of Philadelphia over the last couple of weeks. Everyone says they're overrated. All right. And I was in agreement with that for a long time. I was thinking the Flyers, they aren't that good. And then all these Philadelphia Flyer fans were like, Matt, what are you talking about? Look at the goaltending. Look at the young talent. They're much better than people think. Don't listen to this nonsense. I don't know what to make of them. Okay. I'm being completely frank with you. I don't know what to make of Philadelphia right now, except here in this game at home. They're 8-4-3, and I think they just got to win. I got minus 118. Across the country, you get minus 124, minus 125. It's sort of a play here to me on, I think the Islanders, after winning, the Rangers, after winning 2 games and beating 3-2 a couple days ago against the Flyers, I think it's a bounce-back spot for the Flyers. The Flyers have lost 4 of 5. They're due here to snap it, and I think with the Rangers and all their chaos with what's going on, I'm going Philadelphia here on the money line. 5-2-2 at home for Philly, 3-2-1 for the Rangers on the road. Philly just to win at minus 118 for a half a unit. The other bet I will make today is on the Creighton Blue Jays against DePaul. The Jays have owned DePaul, even though the first matchup in Chicago was ugly. Real ugly. This is in Omaha. The Jays haven't played in 10 days. They're going to be chomping at the bit, not because of COVID. It's just a big hole in their schedule because of COVID and all other schedule issues. So they were trying to find someone to play, and they couldn't find anybody to play or schedule, and now they've got DePaul. I think the Jays are going to kill DePaul. It's 15, however. I'm either playing the first half, which should be 7 or 8 for the Creighton Blue Jays against DePaul. I might play that. Or I may play the first half over, depending on where it's going to be. It should be somewhere around 70, 75, somewhere in that range. But if it's under 70, I'll be all over the over. So I got to wait and see until the morning as to where the Creighton Blue Jays are going to be. But if that first half total is lower than 70 per se, I'll take the over. If it's really high, if it's jacked up like 80 or something in the first half, I probably will take the Jays minus 7, minus 7.5, depending on where the number winds up being in the first half against DePaul. I think the Jays are going to play well at home. I think the Jays will get out there and play hard and play well and destroy a bad DePaul team who they struggled with in the first matchup, but I don't think they'll struggle even off the layoff. It's not a COVID layoff per se. It's a rest, really. It's like a chance of getting your legs back and getting Marcus Zagorowski even healthier, which is huge for the Creighton Blue Jays. So in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. That's where I'll post it. I'll at everyone on my Twitter account at SportsTalkMatt as well. So the plays for today: Alabama +1 on the road at Arkansas, Utah -8 at home against the Lakers, Philly at home against the Rangers, money line -118. 3 plays officially with an ad coming up at some point in the very near future. Once again, thank you to everyone who reached out about the passing of my cat. That was super nice to you guys. I really appreciate it. It was heartfelt. It was warm. It was really special. So thank you. Really, thank you for all of that. Number 2, go get your cookie orders. If you haven't gotten it yet, order your cookies. Get the cookies for the Daily Juice so we can go ahead and make some make that big donation to the Ronald McDonald House coming up with us in Sweet Seas Bakery. And finally, the new gear is very, very cool in the shop, fantasypros.com/shop for the new gear that's out for the Daily Juice. Go check it out. My name is Matt Peralt. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. Every morning, it's the Daily Juice podcast right here on bettingpros.com, brought to you by BetMGM.